Today I'm going to show you how to change a zip up dress to a corset bag or lace up bag. And this is usually if your dress is too tight, and my advice is to find fabric that is quite firm yet not too thick, and my preferred one is this satin. Try and find the closest color match to your dress, and get everything prepared before you start ripping off your zip. The first thing that you need is this long lacing straps, and just cut a fabric. This is very important. You have to cut it on a true bias, which means it is not diagonally across the fabric, and I usually recommend buying a 1.5 by 1.5 meter fabric, so you could fold it diagonally across and get the true bias. Iron out your fabric so that it is smooth, and then once that is cut, you will pin it and get it ready. This is about 6 cm by 2 meters, I think. If you need longer, you can always if your fabric is not as or if the one that you cut is not long enough, you could always extend it. So pin it and then stitched along the edge, and that should give you, when you turn it over, should give you about a 2 cm width. The next thing you need are the little loops. For little loops, you also have to cut them on the true bias diagonally across, and once you've cut that, this is about 3 cm width. Cut it not too long, because it's quite hard to turn when it is too long, and you would need to sew it close to the edge of the fold, and you would need one of these, what we call a turning loop. Put that in there, and poke through the little sharp edge, then turn it over. Without this, you wouldn't be able to turn your loops, and that's how you do it. Ta-da! That's done. And I've done quite a few strips, and I marked them about 5 cm apart. You would also need to make this, the insert. So cut 2 pieces of fabric and then stitched. I like to have 3 bonnets. Some people like to make it in a box. I find this easier. Then stitch along the edge, turn it over. That's where the bonnets are now inside, and this is the one that would be facing the front, and seal it up. That's yours done. Then you can start on ripping the zip of your dress. You rip the zip of your dress carefully. I'm not going to show you how to do this. You just unpick everything, and that's ripped off. Then you start from the top, and you pin mark it about 2 cm apart. That was what I have done. I put it 2 cm apart. Then I stitch the loop on there. Turn it around. Hope you can see that. So you just start there. The first loop. Turn it around. But you need to make sure that it's just over there. When you are sewing, you have to really pull it tight, or you get up with a very big hole. You pull it so tight that when you're sewing it's almost like that. And once that's all done, you would need to sew. Forgot to cut that for you ready. So you need to cut a boning and sew on. Cut a boning, and because this dress doesn't have a lining over the top here, so it's not going to look good. So for this section I would need to provide a cover up. So I will cut a piece of fabric and cover it up, and this would be sewn so that when you are done, the boning would not be showing. And that's how you change it to a lace up back.